In the early morning hours of April 6th, explosions rocked Kyiv. Russia launched an attack on the Ukrainian capital using both cruise and ballistic missiles. Fires broke out in 3 districts of the city. 3 people were injured and 1 man was killed. A ballistic missile, reportedly of North Korean origin, also struck an office building that housed several media outlets from Ukraine's state foreign broadcasting enterprise.
Regarding the office building, the business center sustained damage from the 5th to the 3rd floors. Fortunately, there were no casualties.
That same night, Russian invaders hit a high-rise apartment building in Kupiansk, Kharkiv region, with a guided aerial bomb. According to the Kharkiv Regional Military Administration, balconies from the 2nd to the 7th floors caught fire, as did 4 apartments. 2 residents were injured. Russian drones also attacked Mykolaiv, injuring 3 women and 1 man. 13 private homes were damaged.
Neighbors were shouting, "Raya, get inside! Your place is on fire, hide further inside." The roof was blown apart and debris flew into neighboring houses.
On the night of April 5th, Ukraine's air defense forces shot down 51 Russian-launched kamikaze drones. An additional 31 imitation drones were lost from radar. According to the Ukrainian Air Force, the attacks affected the Sumy, Dnipropetrovsk, Kyiv, and Zhytomyr regions. On April 4th, the Russian military struck Kryvyi Rih in the Dnipropetrovsk region. The attack killed 20 people, including 9 children.
I heard a loud bang, and the windows shattered. Then I heard screams from outside that the woman on the bench was killed. A young man burned alive in his car. Debris flew through the car, hitting them directly.
This whole area was shredded. Survival was impossible. This is terrorism. It's horrifying. Mothers and their children were sitting on that bench, and they died right here.
They were children, our children. My heart aches.
Russia used an Iskander-M ballistic missile with a cluster warhead, designed to kill large numbers of people across a wide area. The Kremlin, however, denies this. Putin's press secretary claimed that Russian forces only strike military or military-adjacent targets. Whether a restaurant and a children's playground fall into that category, Dmitry Peskov did not specify. Moreover, Russia's Ministry of Defense claimed the strike allegedly killed up to 85 Ukrainian soldiers and foreign officers. But CCTV footage from the targeted venue tells a different story.
We categorically reject Russia's lies about the alleged military targets of this strike. The facts from the crime scene show that there were no military objectives. Russia's goal was deliberate terror against civilians. This strike is another war crime and a grave violation of international humanitarian law, from a statement on the website of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine.
The missile attack on the residential district in Kryvyi Rih has drawn condemnation from the international community. The embassies of Japan and Switzerland in Ukraine expressed condolences to the victims' families. Dutch Defense Minister Ruben Brekelmans emphasized that the EU must accelerate its support for Ukraine. EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy Kaja Kallas stressed that Russia has no real interest in peace. French President Emmanuel Macron stated that if Moscow continues to terrorize Ukrainians, decisive action must follow.
On this day of national mourning in Ukraine, my thoughts are with the children and all civilian victims of the deadly strikes carried out by Russia. These Russian strikes must stop. A ceasefire is needed as soon as possible, and decisive action is required if Russia continues trying to buy time and refuses a truce. How much longer will Russia mock peace proposals from the US and Ukraine while continuing to kill children and other civilians? Emmanuel Macron, President of France, on social network X.
U.S. President Donald Trump said he doesn't like Russia's bombings in Ukraine and noted that Washington continues negotiations with Russia to end the war. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. is focused on Russia's actions, not its claims of seeking peace. According to Rubio, Washington may step up pressure on Moscow. Congress has already begun working on a new package of anti-Russian sanctions. Reported by Valeria Nekipelova, UATV News.
Several powerful explosions were heard in Kharkiv late in the evening of April 3rd. The attack lasted 35 minutes. During this time, 6 kamikaze drones struck residential areas in one of the city's districts. Fires broke out in 4 locations immediately after the explosions. The most severe was in a 2-story house where a drone hit directly into an apartment.
We're on fire. The house is burning. I can't get out. The door is jammed. It's warped like this. And in the second entrance, where it was a direct hit, there are three. A husband, wife, and a 12-year-old girl. They had a direct hit right into their apartment. And there was a guy downstairs.
Valentina can't reach her son. He was at home when the fire started, and she was staying overnight with relatives.
I still don't know what happened to my son. The apartment is completely burned out, and no one, not even the neighbors, knows where he is or how he is. Among those taken to the hospital, he is not there. And on the second floor, they already know who died. But about him, I can't say anything. I can't. Most likely he perished because he usually stays home at that time. He doesn't go out in the evening.
Rescuers worked all night clearing the debris. The bodies of 4 people were recovered from under the rubble.
Preliminarily, 2 men, a woman and a child. They are so disfigured and burned. There are remains of bodies. The final information will be determined by the National Police's examination.
Emergency rescue operations near the 2-story house continued in the morning. Vadim is trying to recover from the shock. He can't believe that his neighbors are gone. He says that during the fire, he carried his bedridden wife out in his arms. The family managed to leave the burning house.
And the neighbors upstairs, like this, diagonally, they were jumping out of the windows. A girl, a young woman, and a woman around 50. They were jumping on sheets. Well, the girl was taken to the hospital. She broke her leg. They couldn't even get out because the entrance was on fire. The stairs were wooden, everything was wooden. Apparently the door was blocked, so they jumped out of the windows in desperation.
In the same area of the city, Russian drones hit between 2 5-story buildings. There were no fatalities there. However, many people were injured.
We were very scared because, as they say, it seemed like it could hit anywhere, just not us. We went into the corridor and it was real. It saved us because when we looked into the room...
In total, after the attack in Kharkiv, more than 20 houses were damaged, 800 windows were shattered, and rows of burned cars were under the entrances. According to the Kharkiv Regional Prosecutor's Office, Russian forces used the Geran-2 UAV to attack civilians. A total of 35 people sought medical help, including 2 children. One of the injured died in the hospital from the injuries sustained. Natalia Belokudraya, Andrei Domovoy from Kharkiv for the Freedom TV channel.